Well, good morning and welcome to our Solutions for Success. We'll get started here. A few more people may jump on. I am Mark McGill, the Director of Member Relations here at the South Bend Regional Chamber. It's good to have you with us this morning for a really terrific presentation. SEO strategies uncovered, going to help you with your website. Chris and Jack, a couple of guys that I want to be when I grow up, if I ever grow up. Our presenters today, we'll talk more about them in a second. Just two really great guys who know their stuff. So you're in for a real treat this morning. All of the programs that we do here at the Chamber are simply not made possible without great partners. And Sim Financial is a terrific partner of ours, a great friend to the Chamber, very involved with the community, sponsor our golf outing, just really terrific guys, and they just kind of get it, and they get the Chamber world. And Evan Stark from Sim Financial is here. I want to say good morning to Evan and thank him for sponsoring Solutions for Success. Hey, pal.
Good morning, Mark. Thank you. And thanks to everybody for jumping on the call. I love the community. I love the fact that South Bend is a community where businesses are willing to share with each other and help each other grow. It's an awesome environment. So we're glad to be a part of this. Looking forward to hearing Chris and Jack, two great guys, like you said, in the community and as business leaders. Sim Financial, just in case you're not aware, is an independent financial advisor. It's been around for over 50 years. We manage over $4 billion on a discretionary basis. We have about 80 employees across the Midwest, and we offer independent advice across pretty much every financial topic, estate planning and taxes and insurance and all that stuff. So if anybody ever has a question, do not hesitate to reach out to us. We're here in your community. Glad to be here.
Great, Evan. Thanks. And thanks again for all your support of the Chamber. You really are a terrific Chamber partner. A little bit of housekeeping before we get officially started. We have our new member success orientation coming up at the Potawatomi Zoo. It's going to be Wednesday, 45 minutes before our business after hours. It starts at 3:15. Just a great way if you are new to the Chamber or if you have an employee that's new to the Chamber to spend 45 minutes with other new members and just kind of learning how you can maximize and get the most out of your Chamber membership. I say that to also say it's not just for new members. If you want a refresher course or maybe you've never been to an official new member success orientation, you're welcome as well. Just sign up at the website sbrchamber.com. Again, it's 3:15 on Wednesday, about 45 minutes before the actual business after hours, which will be at 4 o'clock at the zoo. So always one of our favorite business after hours. I mean, they are just doing some amazing things at the zoo, and we get a chance to get kind of a after hours sneak peek. So that's going to be this Wednesday, the 14th, 4 until 6. Again, sbrchamber.com is where you go. It's going to be a really great night, and I'm not lying. It's going to be turtly fun. Just saying. Next virtual member briefing is going to be May 20th. That's when all of the department heads, all of the different departments here at the Chamber, from the Visitors Bureau to Economic Development to the Chamber side to Education and Workforce, all gather virtually and just kind of run through what's happening in our departments. It's a great kind of overview of what is going on at the Chamber. So that is going to be on May 20th at 8:30. Our Michiana 40 under 40 recognition lunch, I just missed the deadline by about 15 years, is going to be on May 16th, next Friday. It's open to the public. It's a terrific recognition of the 40 under 40 class of honorees this year. Again, more information at the website, sbrchamber.com. And then we've got our big Chamber Golf Classic golf outing coming up June 9th at Knollwood Country Club. Still some sponsorships available and still time to get your foursome in on that. So any of the events that we're talking about can be found at sbrchamber.com, and all of our contact information is there as well. So any specific questions, just let us know. Speaking of questions, if you have questions throughout the presentation today, just put them in the chat. I'll be monitoring that. If it's something that we want to address immediately, we will answer your question right away. If not, we'll just save them to the end and get with Chris and Jack at the end to give us the answers to your questions. Jack Wilkinson, co-founder of Sharp Wilkinson, focuses on data-driven strategies to drive growth in digital marketing. He has over 20 years of experience across various sectors. And Chris Sharp, the other part of Sharp Wilkinson, brings a wealth of experience in sales, business development, and client relations. He's dedicated, focusing on delivering exceptional results for their clients. Just really two great guys who know their stuff. And we are so thankful that they're spending some time with us this morning. It's my honor to welcome Jack Wilkinson and Chris Sharp from Sharp Wilkinson. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning, Mark.
Hey there.
Thanks for having us, JC. Appreciate it as well as Evan. We're excited to be here. Good morning to everyone that's joining us today. We're excited to talk today and talk a little bit about SEO. It's a passion of ours. So again, thanks for joining us today. It's great to see all of you. It's great to see some familiar faces and names that we recognize. And it's great to be a part of the South Bend Chamber. So again, as Mark has mentioned, we're going to be discussing some SEO strategies. We've created some strategies, and we're going to present some strategies that we feel are things that, as business owners, maybe marketing managers, these are strategies that you can implement today without necessarily the need of having a marketing agency help you. So these are SEO strategies that, while SEO is challenging and is typically consistently a moving target, we want you to be in a position where you can make some positive changes to your organization when it pertains to SEO. Now, because Google owns about 90% of the search business, we're mainly going to be talking about Google. However, many of the ideas that we're going to be sharing can also be used across Bing as well as Safari and some other browsers. So with that being said, let's get started. Jack?
Yeah, I think what we've seen, what Chris and I have seen when we've talked to people about SEO is that it can be a confusing topic. There's so many people out in the marketplace that are saying so many things. And like Chris said, Google has a way of changing the rules every so often. So the target moves around quite a bit. What worked yesterday does not work tomorrow and may only work half as well today. So to start, let's just kind of simplify it and I'll get on the same page. Rather than thinking about SEO as these like strategies or techniques or tactics, let's just all agree that it's about making your website more appealing to search engines. But like Chris said, Google. I mean, 9 out of every 10 searches globally is happening on Google. That's an up-to-date stat. That's in April of 2025. And we know as business owners that if we can appear on those search engine result pages higher and higher for searches that are related to our products and services, we're dramatically increasing the chance that people go to our website, will learn about us, and potentially become our customers. It's also important for other reasons. Again, people use Google the way people use the phone book in the early 80s and before. When they go to look and see who's out there who might be able to help them with their challenges, they go to Google. If your website shows up high on the page, it creates a sense of trust. It gives you credibility. It positions you well to speak authoritatively about the industry that you're in. So a really well-designed and constantly optimized website will delight your visitors, will delight users, and it just makes people who are searching for you more likely to choose you at the end of the day. We're going to talk about 3 distinct types of SEO. All right. The first we refer to as front end. Some people call on-page SEO. And these are all the things that you can see on your website. Google's technology when it comes to crawling your website and indexing it is spooky. I mean, AI is the hot topic of the moment, but we know that the technology Google has used to crawl and scrape and index sites, they've been using machine learning, like a high-end machine learning tech for about, 18 years, since 2007 at least. Chances are good they were using it before then, but it kind of got uncovered and became widespread knowledge in 2007. having said that, back then it was really looking for keywords. That was the primary. It was looking at alt text. Today, Google's tech, I mean, and back then, again, it could take 2 to 3 months. You could make changes on your site unless you submitted a specific request to Google. It might take 2 to 3 months for them to recrawl your site and re-index you for the changes that you made. We were just working on an SEO project 2 weeks ago for a client out of Cincinnati. We made changes on the site, and without requesting a crawl, those changes were indexed in a couple of days. So Google's tech has jumped ahead by leaps and bounds. And when it crawls your site, it has an uncanny ability to understand what your site is saying, both visually and with the words on the site. So one of the first things you can do as a small business owner, as a leader in your organization, is take a look at your website, audit it. What is it saying, both visually and with the words that are on there? Fine tune that stuff. Don't try and cram keywords in there. You're not going to game the system. Be authentic. Talk about your business, talk about what you do, talk about why you're different, talk about why people need to know about you, and do it authentically. Because if you're going to try and game the system, Google's going to flag you. Just be real. Try and avoid, whenever possible, try and avoid stock images, try and avoid copy that you didn't spend time writing yourself, because if other people are using those images and other people are using variations of that copy, it's going to come out. Mark, did someone have a question?
Yeah, did I just hear you say alt text isn't necessary anymore?
No, I didn't say alt text isn't necessary, but it definitely doesn't have the value that it once did. I mean, again, let's go back to 2007. In 2007, Google's ability to identify what the picture was limited at best. So it used alt text to understand what the image is. With the modern technology, it can look at those images. It can see what those images are. It can grab those images and change those images if it wants to. That's how far advanced the tech is. It can identify images. I mean, you use Google Lens. Google Lens is a good example. A tool like Google Lens, you can take a picture and Google can look at that and see what it is. It can do that with your website. Does that answer the question? Hopefully it does. Again, front end, on-page SEO, first steps first. Take a look at every page on your website and make sure that it's meaningful. Make sure that the copies and visuals are meaningful. Make sure they're authentic, and make sure that they're unique. Try and stand out in the landscape.
Hey, Jack, if I can just add to the
Please do.
the front end piece. Were you talking front end or back end? You were talking a little bit.
We're talking front end. We're still on front end. Sorry.
Yeah. So I think one thing to keep in mind, guys, too, is searcher intent, right? Or search intent. Think about when you're putting copy on the website. Think about how your clients, your targets, think about how they're searching. What terms are they using to search and to find you? And weave that into your website as well. Again, I think Jack's exactly right. Authentic, right? Meaningful. Also, searcher intent is critical when it comes to the front end of your website.
What's up, Mark?
How does alt text benefit then today? Wondering if that gets too into the weeds.
No, I mean, I think it's a tool that Google uses to improve its understanding of what's on your site, but not just your site, but all sites. We're going to talk a little bit. That's a technical. That is an aspect of technical SEO, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. You still want to make sure that your alt text exists, and it's an accurate reflection of what the image is, and we'll talk about that in a moment. When it comes to, so we talked about front end or on-page SEO, then there's back end, or what people refer to as off-page SEO. And these are the actions that are taken outside of your website's design and copy and visuals that can improve your website's authority. The more authority that you can create around your domain, the more times it will show up higher in those searches. So The big one there, the best example is backlinking, reaching out, establishing a network between thought leaders in the industry, reaching out, you can do it via social media. You can do it via YouTube. You can go through channels where there are other people talking about things in your industry, and you can establish connections in hopes that they will share your content from their web assets, like their website. A good example is this article that this company wrote about employee mental health issues, and they linked to another article on another website for a psychiatric practice, and that's a good example of a backlink. When you're creating content that people are linking to, it shows that that's valuable content. Google looks at it and says that's valuable content, especially if the site that is linking to your content gets lots of traffic, has a lot of engaged users. So what's the meaning of all of this? There's, again, 15 years ago, there was actual strategy for backlinking, and to a certain degree, there still is. But the number one best strategy is put out unique, authentic, meaningful content. If you're going to blog about something, blog about a topic that's related to your industry, that your products and service are related to, and write from the heart. You know what I mean? Make it an article that will help people, that will bring value to the table, that will answer their questions. If you're putting out good quality content, you're going to increase the likelihood that anyone's going to engage with it and share it. And that's really what it's about, is getting people to recognize the value of what's on your website. And content is a big part of it. Chris, what would you add?
The one thing that comes to mind, Jack, I think with what you talked about was when you speak about content, and that's AI. And I think a lot of us are, when it comes to maybe writing a blog post, the easy thing now to do is to leverage ChatGPT or some other AI tool to have it create the blog post or the piece of content. Be cautious with that, guys. Like, there are certain aspects of AI that Google looks at and identifies and determines, like, that's not legit content. That's AI written content. Google is super smart, super intelligent. It identifies that stuff. So you got to be very cautious on, if you are going to leverage some type of AI tool to generate content, make sure you go in and massage that content. Make sure you go in and personalize, as Jack was talking about, go in and personalize that content to make it meaningful. AI has a way of adding specific words and phrases to content that over time, not only does Google identify, but you should be able to identify. Make sure you strip that out and, again, personalize the content. That's the only thing, Jack, I wanted to add to this piece. It resonated with me when you're talking about content, and obviously AI is a big player for a lot of organizations in creating content.
Yeah, and we're not trying to diminish the value of AI. AI tools are here to stay. And used properly, they can be really helpful. They can increase the efficiency of. They can reduce the time that it takes to write a 700-word blog post, right? But garbage in, garbage out. If you just copy and paste a 700-word blog post that AI wrote for you, chances are good parts of it, pieces of it, exist somewhere else. And what were the 3 words that I used? Unique, meaningful, and authentic. Well, if you're putting in stock photos and you're using AI copy that other people are using, it's no longer unique. There's a great tool out there if you're interested in, like, well, you said Google can identify AI. How can I kind of assess my own AI assisted content? There's something called Quillbot. Check it out. Quillbot. You can actually copy and paste copy in there, and it will give you an indicator of how much of that was AI generated. We've used it a lot, and at times it's really, really accurate. Sometimes it'll drift. It depends on how much copy you have, but check it out, Quillbot, and you can kind of test your copy, especially if you're using ChatGPT or an AI tool to help generate copy. then you massage it, and then you plug it into Quillbot, and it tells you like, okay, this still sounds like AI. So really cool tool, and it can help you kind of go for that unique, authentic, meaningful content that's going to get you some back end strength. That's going to make it more likely that people will share that content and establish your domain authority. The part of SEO that most people would associate with SEO, like is most often associated, I would say is technical SEO. Mark already asked a couple questions about alt text. Alt text is still valid. Every website that we build, we make sure one of the last steps that we go through before launch is we go through and we make sure the alt text is standing tall on every single image that's on that website. And then when we periodically audit the websites, we go in and we update the alt text. For those of you who might not be as familiar with that term, the alt text is a description of what that picture is. Back in the day, again, Google used alt text because its technology wasn't to the point where it could accurately identify the picture from the visual alone. It needed that assistance. These days, alt text is still used. And for instance, it can be helpful with the accessibility of a site, to help with the accessibility settings of a site. The alt text is still very, very much a part of SEO. Metadata, what's commonly referred to as metadata. So the descriptions that you enter on the back end, making sure that the titles of all of your pages are relevant to the content on the page. Going through and making sure that all of these little boxes are checked in the back end and all of these little switches are in the right places, so to speak, are tremendously helpful. Even though Google's technology is advanced, it still audits your metadata. Make sure that you're generating schema, which is a markup language that the computers use to understand your site and to index your site accurately. This can be a little challenging. There are lots of tools depending on how your website is built and how it's hosted. There are lots of tools. For instance, if you have a WordPress site, there's lots of SEO plugins. One that we use on a number of sites is called All-in-One SEO, AIO SEO. It's a great tool, and it can do a lot of the work for you. You don't have to be an SEO expert, a technical SEO expert, to leverage tools like that. So if you're interested in doing this yourself, I would learn a little bit more about how your site's hosted and see if you can find some tools to help you on the back end. What's up, Mark?
Jack, can you give some examples? I feel like it's so redundant when I do it, and maybe it's not. For example, do you recommend a sentence or keywords for alt text, that is?
Yeah, well, one of the strategies, 10 years ago, or like even people do it now, is they try and cram keywords into the picture. Like, so if the picture is like a stock image, a typical image of someone working in an office, and it's for a company that sells a particular type of software, the temptation is to somehow put that software in the alt text, because you think that it's going to help you come up in those searches. Maybe back in the day that would help you, but again, Google's technology is better than that. It really wants you to enter the alt text of what is in the image: two people talking in an office background. Don't try and cram logistics software into that alt text just because that's what you're selling. The game with alt text is just be accurate and be authentic. Again, Google is going to look at this and see how your site's built, and if you're doing things the right way. And if you are, it's going to assign you the trust and the credibility that you then deserve, that you have earned by being as accurate and honest about the content that's on your site as possible. So don't try and game the system. These days, it will only do you harm. It will not help you. When it comes to alt text, just describe what's in the picture. That's it. What would you add? What am I missing, Chris, on the technical?
I think you hit the nail on the head, Jack. I think for someone that hasn't really had a lot of opportunity to get into the back end of their website, find tools that can help you. If it's a Wix or a Squarespace, they have built-in tools that can help you identify SEO challenges that you may have with your website. Jack had mentioned the all-in-one SEO. WordPress has multiple plugins. Definitely leverage a plugin. It will give you page by page. It will score each page of your website for SEO and identify areas that you need to make improvements. Now, guys, keep in mind, when it comes to plugins, most of these are free, and free equals limitations. So just understand that there's going to be opportunity to make improvements by using the WordPress plugin to identify SEO challenges that your website may have, but it's not going to give you everything. It's not going to give you everything because it wants you to pay. But it's a good start, guys. It's a good start.
And neither Chris nor I would be able to sleep well tonight if we didn't say nothing is a good substitute for having a partner, a trusted partner, agency help you with this work, So if you find the plugin just isn't getting you where you need to go, find a company that can help you do this stuff. And we can make some recommendations if you're curious. We can help you with that. A big part of SEO these days is UX. So UX to web developers, there are UX specialists now, and there have been for a long time. And these are people who specialize in improving and optimizing the user experience of the site. Why? Well, Google prefers websites that offer a great experience to visitors. They have a metric that they unleashed in Google Analytics not too long ago called engaged sessions. Engaged sessions is a metric that is all about identifying websites that offer great experiences to visitors. If you give, Google has a number of things that, hey, we know if this happens, the visitor is having a good experience. And if they're having a good experience on the site, we're gonna credit that site for that experience. If your website is easy to use and easy to navigate, if it loads quickly, if it looks good on all devices and all platforms, it's just gonna rank higher over time. That's a fact. When it comes to things like this, a couple of easy elements that you can improve that can really help are site navigation. Don't overload your site nav. Think about this, think about how your pages are arranged. Think about what a visitor does, what you want them to do when they come to your site, and keep it as simple as possible. Create clear menus and illuminate the paths so that visitors can find the information they're looking for. Look, they're coming to your website looking for answers. That's why they did a search. Help them. Don't make them hunt for that information. Another one is loading speed. Everyone likes having video on their website. Everyone likes having animations, scrolling animations, and parallax features, and all these bells and whistles that can give a website a ton of curb appeal and increase engagement. But at what cost? You have to balance that. Optimize your images, get them into a WebP format, reduce large files, make them smaller, and use tools like PageSpeed. Google has a tool called PageSpeed Insights that on many content management systems you can integrate right into your site, and it will identify and help you fix pages that load slowly. Faster sites keep Google happy. That's just a fact, right, Chris?
Yeah, no doubt. I just to add a couple of additional things to this, and I know we're going to talk about why design is important in the next slide, but guys, a couple of other things that you could do is when it comes to UX, identify where your clients are coming from. What type of technology are they using to come to your site? Are they mobile? Are most of your visitors mobile? Are they on a PC? You can identify this in a couple of different ways. Google Analytics will give you all of this data if you have a Google Analytics account. If you don't, set one up. If you need help setting one up, let us know and we'll guide you through that. With all of our clients, we also install a heat map on the website. So what a heat map does is it identifies where people are clicking on your site, where they're going on your site, how far down are they scrolling on your site. So it gives you the ability, when we talk about user experience, it really gives you the data and informs you with where people are going and adjustments that you need to make to your website. There's a really great free tool that you can plug into your website. It's called Hotjar. We do Hotjar. We install Hotjar on all of our clients' sites. You guys can do it. It's a free tool. You should go for it. And if you haven't already done it, install Hotjar on your website. Mark, what you got, man?
Should you ideally convert all JPEGs to WebP?
You know, the cool thing about it is these
Good
days,
question.
depending on how your site's built, you don't need to. So many sites, you know, again, like a Wix or a Squarespace site, depending on how, on what your account is set at, it might already be converting those images to WebP. There are tools for WordPress that can help you take those images and convert them to WebP. So there's lots of tools out there, but yeah, I mean, long story short, yes, because it will make your site load faster. So optimally, you do want those images to be in a WebP format. Now, you know, WebP has its limitations. So there are certain things that if you're trying to create certain types of effects on your site, you're using certain animation tools, WebP might not be an option for you, but 9 times out of 10, yeah, you want to make sure that those images on your site are in a WebP format because they're going to load way faster, guys. UX hand in hand with design, but let's talk about design for a minute. Again, design, it's not just about having quality copy, and it's not just having you know, unique high quality images. It's how they're arranged, and not necessarily just in terms of user experience. An attractive, clean website, consistent across all of the pages, will make people feel like they're in a home that's, you know, well designed and clean. You know what I mean? And you're going to stay in you're more likely to stay in a home like that longer. We often use this home analogy when we talk about websites. You know, when you build a website, you're trying to build a home for people on the internet to come and learn. And then when you maybe launch a digital ad campaign, you're inviting everyone to a big party at your home, right? Well, when it comes to design, that home analogy stays true as well, because you know, you want the home to be clean, you want it to be well organized, you don't want people barking their shins on the coffee table. That's part of that is user experience, but part of it is just creating a website that's organized and clean and then consistent across all of the pages. So UX and design, they do go like this. Think of it as a home or a storefront, and you know, you want people to come in, spend time, and browse, and ultimately buy. And a clean, good design is going to do that. Also, make sure that it has some kind of responsiveness, that it's mobile friendly, that it's going to appear in a very high quality across multiple devices using multiple browsers. Again, not as hard as it used to be, but it's still a step that you need to take. Whether you use a tool to help you with that, or whether you have the technical know-how to do it yourself, make sure it's getting done. You want your site to look good. We're in a mobile world. You want your website to look good on a phone or a mobile device. I'm going to let Chris talk a little bit about this, not me, because he's been working with a lot of clients on this stuff lately. This is very important. So Chris, take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Jack. So guys, local SEO, we're all of us here today in some form or fashion are probably most likely selling a product or a service locally here in the South Bend kind of Mishawaka community. So, you know, local SEO for all of us is critically important. Having a great website is great, but you want local consumers to find you. And one of the things that we typically find with new customers or new people that we're having conversations with is they either don't have a Google business profile, or if they do, it's inadequate. Like it hasn't been completed. 30% of it's been done. And that's a big gap, guys. So first and foremost, out of anything that you do today, first thing you should do is go, if you don't already have your Google business profile, go claim it. It's sitting out there waiting for you. Go claim it. And while you're doing the Google business profile, claim your Bing Places profile as well. Because what you'll do with Bing is pretty much identical with what you're going to do with Google, and you might as well get both of them, even though we're sitting here talking mainly today about Google, right? So claim your profile. If you already have a profile, go in and make sure it's complete. Make sure you've added your map. Make sure you're adding pictures on a regular basis. We typically recommend that you go in on a quarterly basis and update and make changes to the pictures. Make sure the app is or the map is added. So Google Business Profile will actually give you a meter, and it'll tell you when you've actually completed your entire profile. Make sure that meter is entirely completed, and make sure that you set a task for yourself every quarter to go in, monitor, and make adjustments and changes. Here's the big one: Google reviews. Google looks at Google reviews, especially positive reviews, as an SEO metric. The more reviews you have, the more positive reviews you have, it's one of the metrics that Google uses for search to get you ranked. So one of the strategies that we implement for all of our clients, and we would be recommending for you today, is identify the clients that love you. Find the clients that you've done exceptional work for and ask them to leave you a Google review. Ask them in person, send them an email that has a link directly to the review page. Create a postcard with a QR code that they can scan. It'll take them right there. Whatever it is, guys, there's multiple options. The key is get that review in front of your happy customer. Okay. On the flip side, don't give it to somebody that's not happy with you. I know that's kind of obvious, but do not give it to, there's enough people out there that will leave you a bad review. Don't make it easy on them. Only focus on the ones that are going to leave you good reviews. The other thing is you can monitor your search results. So from time to time, if you ever want to kind of see where you're landing as far as search results, like put yourself in incognito mode, sign out of your Google account and search for yourself. Search for yourself on maps. That's the one thing we haven't talked about yet. 20% of searches are done on maps. So that's why putting the maps and making sure maps is associated with your Google profile, making sure that you've got a really tight Google profile, making sure that the description of your organization aligns with what your target audience is looking for. Super, super incredibly important. Okay. Jack talked about backlinks. That's something that is really important as well when it comes to search. But when it comes to local, guys, the best thing you can do is optimize your Google business profile, optimize your reviews, and get as close as you can to a 5.0. Jack, what do you got to add?
You know, the other thing I'd add is like make sure that if you are trying to operate in a specific geography, make sure that geography is called out in the on page and technical part of SEO. I told you about a project we were working on for a company in Cincinnati, and it was really to heighten improve results geographically. And what we had to do is we had to go in, and you can actually identify in the technical back end side, you can identify geography there. Make sure that you're doing that. If you're using pictures, for instance, if you're a South Bend business and you got a picture of South Bend on your site, make sure the alt text says, beautiful picture of downtown South Bend. Like, again, stay true, stay authentic, be honest, but be unique and meaningful, but do it. I mean, and if you do, Google's going to look and say, oh yeah, this is a Northern Indiana business, tried and true. Let's make sure that we're showing it for those searches about products and services in Northern Indiana.
Yeah,
and then on the front,
optimize your website for that, right? Optimize your website, optimize content.
Yeah.
If you're creating a blog post that's relative to the local market, make sure you're including the local market in that piece of content. Make sure you're calling out the local market.
And on the Google business pages, guys, you can actually create links. You can share content on your Google business page the way that you can share content on a social media channel.
Yep.
Go ahead and do it. If you're sharing blog posts, if you're sharing videos that you're making or graphics for holidays or stats and facts and insights, you can share them on your Google business page. You can link your social channels, but you can also share content. And before we wrap here, I think we have to mention video. Video is the king of content. We've talked a lot about content and the role that it can play in helping optimize your business for searches regarding your industry. Video is at the top of the heap, believe me. Not for probably one of the biggest reasons is YouTube is owned by Google. So any video any video content you create and you host on YouTube, it's going to get indexed by Google, like right out of the gate. And now your YouTube content is going to show up as prevalently as anything that you do on your website or anything that you do on your Google business listing page. YouTube is a very, very valuable tool because it gets indexed for searches. You have the ability to engage potential customers in conversations like you would on a social channel. Create video content, get it on YouTube, embed it on your website, share it on social media. It is the most engaging content out there. It across the board achieves a much, much higher engagement factor. Remember I was talking about engaged sessions? One of the ways you create engaged session is keep someone on the page for 10 seconds or longer. What better way than to have a 20-second video or a 30-second video? You don't have to be Martin Scorsese and create a 2-hour opus. Just create a short form video using some of these tools like Canva and talk about things that are important to your clients and get that stuff out there. It's gonna help you when people that don't know about you are searching for someone to help them. I can't stress this enough. Video is the king. Would you agree, Chris?
King. Yeah, totally. And don't be afraid to use your phone, guys. Phones today's have, most phones have great cameras, great video, HD ability. So don't be afraid to use your phone. And by the way, if you want to do a video and you want to send it to us for us to put eyes on, we're happy to do that. I think the thing we like to talk about is ideas are free when it comes to Sharp Wilkinson. If you've got an idea that you want to run past us, let's get coffee and talk about it. If you want to come by, let's talk about it. Ideas are free. We love collaborating. We love talking about ideas. So we're here to help.
If you haven't had a chance or a thought to ask your question yet, we'd love to talk about things that you guys are doing out there. If they don't come to mind now, we're real easy to get a hold of. It's either jack@sharpwilkinson.com, chris@sharpwilkinson.com. If you'd like a copy of this presentation, of this deck, we'll be glad. Just email us. We'll send you a copy. And like Chris said, talking through ideas, we don't charge anything for that. We like doing that. So reach out to us and let us know what you're thinking.
Yeah, guys, this was really terrific. Thank you so much. And I just want to reiterate that you guys mean it when you say, man, get a hold of you guys. You guys are just really good dudes doing really good stuff. And you want what's best for South Bend and Mishawaka and the area.
Absolutely.
So,
thanks, Mark.
It's really true. And you guys just really get the chamber life and you're really terrific about it. I've heard a lot about services like SEMrush, etc. Do you have an SEO service that is the best to use for beginners?
Yeah, SEMrush is pretty cool. One of the drawbacks is it can get expensive quick depending on how you're using or what level you're using. SEMrush is cool. The people that develop those SEO and SEM tools, man, they got their work cut out for them because the game is always changing. Google is always trying to increase their technology and advance the ways that they're doing things. They change the algorithms that they use to index and kind of place everything. So you take a tool like SEMrush. When Chris and I started using SEMrush, it looks way different than it used to. HubSpot used to have, and we're a HubSpot certified agency. We use HubSpot a lot. It used to have like onboard SEO tools. And I think at some point, those guys in Boston at HubSpot, they were like, nah, we're going to pass, man, because the game's always changing. So buyer beware. There's a lot of good tools out there. SEMrush is cool, can be expensive. You know what we use? We use Google Analytics, which is free. We use Google page speed insights, free. We use Google Search Console, free. Those can, I think if you devote a little bit of time, and guys, these are ubiquitous tools, meaning there's no shortage. You can get on YouTube and say Google Analytics training overview. You'll see hundreds of videos that explain the basics of analytics. It can be a tough tool to use, but there's also a lot of information to show you how to use those tools. I would suggest start with the free tools first. And if you're trying to take it to that next level, then go there. But if you need some help with SEMrush, you need some help with some of those SEO tools that are out there, WordPress plugins, plugins for your website, you have questions, hit us up. We'd love to help you with it.
Yeah, Google also has a free keyword planner. So if you try, just typing Google keyword planner, you can identify the volume of particular keywords. You can look at the competition. So check out that as well. That's a free tool also.
And we'll get the presentation from Jack and Chris, and we'll send it to all attendees.
Awesome.
Really positive comments, guys. This was really, really terrific. You guys just hit it out of the park as we expected you to. One more time, give us your email address in case somebody wants to get a hold of you.
Jack.
So I'm Chris at sharpwilkinson.com. Jack is Jack at sharpwilkinson.com. Trying to keep it easy.
Yeah. And I do. I really encourage you to reach out to these two. They will help you out. They are just
guys. Remember, ideas are free. So if you want to hit us up, get some coffee, what have you, let us know.
Let's do it.
Happy to help.
Yeah.
Or go see their cool office, because it is a really cool office.
Yeah.
We love visitors.
Thanks,
Everyone's welcome. Come by and see us. We're here.
Evan Stark, Sim Financial. Final word from you again. Thank you for all of your support of the chamber. Thank you for bringing us today, and last word from you.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm glad to be here. Love the content. Learned a couple things that I'm going to send off to our marketing people, along with, Jack and Chris's contact stuff. And very happy to be here and to see so many people learning.
Yeah, well, good. Again, thank you to Sim Financial for all that you do. And Chris and Jack, again, thank you. This was really, really terrific. And we sure appreciate all that you guys do. And not just today, but thank you for your friendship, and thank you for being great chamber supporters. SBRchamber.com is the website to go for all of the events. We'd love to see you out there. Chris and Jack come to most events as well, so you can spend some time with them at the events. So they show up as well. Thank you for your support of the South Bend Regional Chamber. We hope you have a terrific rest of your day and week and weekend. And again, SBRchamber.com is the website to go to. Thank you so much, Chris and Jack and Evan. We'll
Thanks,
talk
Mark.
to you guys soon.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, you
Appreciate
bet.
it.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.